8 News starts now with breaking news.
For the first time since Richmond police announced the prevention of a mass shooting plot at Dogwood Dell, 8 News is sitting down with Police Chief Gerald Smith. You're watching 8 News at 6. I'm Eric Phillips.
I'm Deanna Albritton. Reporter Olivia Jakewood joins us live from police headquarters after that one-on-one. Olivia, how did the chief respond to your questions?
Well, Eric, Deanna, as you noted there, I did speak one-on-one with Police Chief Gerald Smith, and I asked him about the tipster at the heart of this investigation, which again prompted law enforcement officials to investigate an anonymous tip, and how police came to identify Dogwood Dell as the location for this alleged mass shooting plot. Now, the video that you're taking a look at on your screen here shows a rare look at the suspects inside a Richmond courtroom during their last court appearance before those charges were escalated to the federal level. Neither suspect has been charged with a crime specifically related to a mass shooting at this time. Listen in, here is a piece of my interview with Chief Smith asking about probable cause for those arrests. Authorities responded, there were weapons in the home, and we know that both of these now suspects were there, and only one of them was taken into custody. So why one but not the other?
That's getting into the specifics of the investigation, and that's one of the reasons why we're talking now, is to make sure that we could put the focus on what needs to be focused on, which is, I think it's misplaced focus, and it's caused this controversy and all these questions, and we are now ignoring the fact that we've prevented a mass shooting. We prevented people from dying. We prevented people from being shot. We've prevented officers from having to go door to door to do death notifications. And there is a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking taking place and criticism. And that's my job as the chief of police. I take those hits, I take those criticisms. I'm a big boy, I can take it. I just get frustrated, and I think it's rightly so, when we overlooked that this was a win for the city of Richmond. We won the game, and that our officers who actually went out and did great work, and actually when they didn't have PC and didn't lock up somebody falsely, that they still surveilled that person until the PC developed for them to do so. I think it's a great win for the city of Richmond.
Yeah, I don't think anyone doubts that this particular instance was. I think the concern is also that same weekend there was still a mass shooting. 6 people were still shot on 4th of July, and no doubt it could have been bigger with this other incident, perhaps at the Dell. But I suppose, what is the update on that investigation, first of all, and was there some strategy here to say, let's focus on this mass shooting that we prevented and not the one that unfortunately did happen?
The one that did happen, it was different circumstances. But let's be honest, that one, there was not a plot or something that was pre-planned that we see in our investigations. That was something that kind of developed, and we are still asking for the public's help in that. If we had the public's help before or after that one that did take place, maybe we could have prevented it by this time. Maybe we could have actually solved that case. So if we compare that to the plot that we stopped on the 4th of July, which I believe then and believe now was the Dogwood Dell, the difference is the public's participation and the public's help in actually calling up with the police and giving us information that helps us to solve those crimes, that helps make Richmond a better place. I think that's the difference between those two incidents. If we had known information before and after, we could have maybe prevented it, or quite possibly we could have actually had it solved by now.
Now, I also asked Chief Smith about what led the department to name Dogwood Dell as the location for this alleged mass shooting, and he told me that there was really no other location it could have been. He said he was actually the one who came to that conclusion based on the work of investigators working step by step with those Richmond police detectives, as well as getting information from the tipster, this overall investigation, and he cited his 30 years of experience. And again, that is despite previously saying the Diamond was another possible location, but then later walking back on those comments.
All right, and Olivia, so speaking of the anonymous tipster, did the chief in that interview reveal any more information on what they learned and how? I know you just mentioned the target, but what else?
Right, yeah, exactly. So, Deanna, Chief Smith did say that the tipster spoke directly with one of the suspects, which we did know from an affidavit that we had obtained. Again, those court documents obtained by 8 News, walking through exactly how this came to be. Now, we do know that both of the suspects are native Spanish speakers, so the tipster would have had to at least understand Spanish. We've seen those suspects use translators in court, so I asked Chief Smith about that as well. He said they did work with a translator, and in terms of verifying the information that they received from that tipster, they said that over the course of the investigation, it has begun to get verified just in the work of the investigation from those officers. But again, not really revealing at this time the identity of that anonymous tipster.
All right, thanks so much, Olivia, and we'll continue to see how the work of the police department, the work of the prosecutor's office, both at the state and federal level, continue to align. Great work.